The following is a presentation of TFNN.
11 seconds. You've got 10 seconds. The countdown going on right now. Morrow up the slope. 5 seconds left in the game. You believe in miracles? Yes!
Let's go to Ilka in Boston. Ilka, thanks for calling. Thanks for holding.
How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
Steve, seriously, you guys are unbelievable. You are doing wonders for all the traders.
Well, thanks. We appreciate that.
The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, all you wonderful money masters and treasure hunters. Welcome to the July 24th wonderful Wednesday edition of today's opening bell on the Trader's Edge. I'm your host, Steve Rhodes, and I absolutely treasure your presence here today. My outcome, as always, is to help you to become a better money master and to provide you with tools that each of us need in order to lead an inspired life. Because leading an inspired life, folks, that's what it's all about. So let's go look at one of our tools. This is the tool I call Only One Thing is More Important Than Learning from Experience. And that is not learning from experience. You know, today will be filled with opportunities for you to express yourself, for you to expand yourself and experience the world all around you. The stock market, it provides opportunities all day long. Now, a lot of people talk about life. Some love it, and some leave it to others to be lived. What you and I know is that life can be what we make it. Why, you ask? Because we are able to learn from our past experiences. When we've been there and we've done that, we've got an excellent idea, an outstanding idea, an extraordinary idea of what we don't want and what we do want in our life. Experience is certainly an excellent teacher, probably the best teacher out there. Now, you've heard the saying, it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game. Well, folks, winning and losing does matter. And oftentimes, people won't play the game of life because of the fear of losing. After all, losing could make one feel like a loser. But the real loss, in my opinion, is in not playing the game and then learning from your experience. If you're not trading these markets, join me. Join me for 30 days. Test drive Mastering Probability. You know, take advantage of the 30 hours of video education. In fact, I've got a new hour of education that I'm going to be sharing tomorrow evening at from 6:30 to 7:30 for all my subscribers. So if you're not a subscriber, now's a great time to test drive the service. It's got a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Tomorrow's lesson, tomorrow's 1 hour lesson is something you do not want to miss. So you can go over to the homepage at TFNN.com, sign up for Mastering Probability. I think it would be an excellent idea. Mao Zedong, he once said, if you want to know the taste of a pear, well, you must change the pear by eating it. You know, if you want to know the theory and methods of revolution, you must take part in a revolution. All genuine knowledge, folks, that originates in direct experience. So if you'd like to learn, you know, how to understand the patterns in the markets, you've got to take part in the direct experience, and I certainly would be honored to assist you in those endeavors. We learn from experience. We can learn from not learning. But don't let the game of life pass you by, because our destiny, folks, yours and mine, it's not predetermined for us. We determine our destiny. Let's go check out the destiny of the markets out here. Right now, we've got the Dow futures up here. Let's see, I had the wrong tab. How about that? That was pretty smooth. Dow futures up about 28 points right now, trading out at 15,541. ES Mini trade up 4.5 at 1693. We've got the NASDAQ futures up 28.5. That is powerful move right there. You know, you got Apple Power in that. Up it's up 28.5 points, trading out at 30.54. Russell 2000. Up 3 points at 10.54 and change. King dollar up 26 ticks. trading out at 82.31. A little bit of movement in the currency market. We'll take a look at that. Gold holding its own with the U.S. dollar index being up 27 ticks. It's up $1.50 at 13.36. Hey, folks, the move behind gold, the move behind the gold equities, it's absolutely real out there. It's not just a bottom. It's one of those historic bottoms out there. Of course, that is my opinion. If we take a quick peek around the globe out here, let's see what kind of action we've got going on over in Europe right now. A little party going on in the DAX. It's up almost a full percentage point, up about 80 points right now, trading out at 83.93. FTSE's up 48 points. That's up 0.7%. So they are having a good morning out there. Mixed bag in Asia last night. You had the Nikkei down 47 points. Not really a big deal there. Just a little over 0.25%. The Hang Seng making up for it by being up 0.25%, up 53 points. And the Shanghai off 0.5%, down 11. Our call-in number, and you know it, it's 877-927-6648. Would be glad to take your call and help you take a look at a stock chart. If we take a look at things that are moving and grooving in the market, to the downside, you got Broadcom. Broadcom Corp, BRCM, trading off about almost 11% here this morning, down $3.35. So we're certainly going to be checking on that. Apple is up almost 5%. Last trade fired off was at $438.69. That's up about $20 out there. Up 6%. Illumina Inc., ILMN, that's trading out right now at $78.50. That's up $4.73 out there. Down 11%. Polycom, PLCM, is the ticker symbol. That last trade fired off at about $9.90. You got Panera Bread losing a little bit of, I guess it cooked some of its bread a little bit too much. It's burnt, and they've had to throw some out. It's off 6% here this morning. Last trade firing off at 170.80. Let's see, we've got all kinds of numbers out here this morning. Boeing out with numbers. They're up almost 2% this morning. Last trade fired off at 109.75, up almost $2. ARM Holdings having a decent showing this morning, up 3%. That's up $1.33. You've got Caterpillar down about $1, so that's off a little over 1%. Ford Motor up 3% here this morning, up 56 cents out there. Lumber Liquidators, LL, is their ticker symbol. They're up 7.5%. Eli Lilly up at 2.5% as well. Let's start off, though, by we'll take a look at those stocks, some of those stocks, maybe all of them, during the show. Let's start off by taking a look at the futures, see what it is that we've got going on here. So where do we start and take a look at the futures? I think we ought to start here with the NQ. Why the NQ? Because that has been the weak link out here. So from the weak link, we're going to be able to get some information about what this market wants to do today. Right now, you've got the NASDAQ futures taking on that May 22nd high, 30.53.50. You know, we had a breakout above it, or it had a breakout above it. That breakout above it took place on July 12th. Stayed up there for a few days, and then boom, the air came out of the tires on July 18th. That was led by Google, but of course we have seen Google bounce back. So that was maybe one. You had Intuitive Surgical, a number of others out there. Basically, what it means is that you broke back inside the lower part of the range. By the lower part of the range, we're just simply talking about that swing point for May 22nd that was taken out with light volume. That said that it was a false breakout. Now, what we have seen here inside the NASDAQ futures, if you take a look at them, by moving back down there, thank you, Google. Thank you, Intuitive Surgical, amongst others. What it did was it quickly worked off an overbought condition. It's no longer overbought. It's not oversold, that is for sure, as it pushes up into that May 22nd high. You get a close above 30.53. What does it set up? It sets up at least a test of the highs out there. July 17th high, 30.86.50, 30.87 on July 18th. That is where it would want to run to at a minimum. Now, remember that number. Let's go check it out. 30.87. I'm just doing this on the fly here because we're just looking at chart patterns. So let's go take a look at the 30-minute chart of the NQ, and let's go see what we've got out here. Inside the NQ, we're taking a look at a sideways consolidation range that basically has been in effect ever since that Google announcement here that came in at about 4.15 or so. That's that wide-ranging bar on the way down. What we're going to see is at least three of the four 30-minute charts inside the futures contracts have basically been trading in that wonderful sideways consolidation pattern. One of the coolest patterns out there. Why? Because a breakout is going to lead in a direction equal to or greater than the consolidation out here? Well, in the case of the NASDAQ futures, I would say the consolidation range is up towards the highs that came in at around 2 in the morning on July 23rd out there, 30.59, let's just call it 30.60, all the way down to the lows, I'd say at about 1:30 in the afternoon on July 19th, 30.50. We're going to call it 30.30. So you got from 30.30 to 30.60, you got a 30-point consolidation move. Whichever way. Now, in the 30-minute chart here, you can see that coming into this time frame here of exactly 8 a.m., the market had moved up into an overbought condition using the EKG. It's working its way off just a bit here by pulling back down. And I'm not saying which way it's going to break out. I don't know which way it's going to break out. I don't even need to know which way it's going to break out. In fact, it gives you several different trading opportunities here. Number one, you can just wait for a breakout, because whichever side it breaks out of, the likelihood of it being a 30-plus point move, that's really already out there. You know, these consolidation patterns, one of the coolest patterns out there. Now, 30-30, if it breaks out to the top side, that'll take you out to about 30.90. If it breaks out to the downside, it will be the 3,000 level. So if you go back to that daily chart, I believe it was right around 30.70. That would be the highs. 30.87. How about that? 30.87 is the high from July 18th. And if you go all the way back into that 30-minute chart, I believe it was 30.90 was the number that was given there. So you've got some synergy to know what would take place out here inside the market. We cannot ignore that long-ranging bar to the upside here, the one that came in yesterday. That was after Apple's earnings release. That's at 5 o'clock. Yes, we've got this long-ranging bar to the downside here, and we know that Google was really the leadoff batter for that. And if we go take a look at Google, in fact, let's do it. I don't recall what Google actually did yesterday. I know it was pushing in towards its highs. Looks like it sold off a bit volume behind the move yesterday. Let me just make sure I've got the correct volume here on my chart. That wasn't what I meant to bring up. You know, if you're just listening to us on your mobile device at TFNN.mobi or the radio, thanks so much for doing that. Remember, you can catch the live stream of this show. You'll be able to see my charts by going to the homepage of TFNN.com, and over on the right-hand side, you'll see a button. You'll see 3 little smartphone-type devices. Click on that. This show will stream live out here. So you do have this high-volume bottom here, and it looks like that's really what was tested yesterday. That high-volume low, that was July 19th. The top of that, 902.95, 7.4 million shares, and yesterday got down to a low of 899.57, so it got into that bar, rejected that bar by closing higher. The close yesterday was at 903.80. The top of that bar was at 902.85. Was it the 902? I mean 902.95, 903.80. So it rejected that, and it was a test on light volume, 2 million shares. So it most certainly couldn't bust it down. What is it set up to do? That's because it did not test the high out there. So it's set up to make a run for the highs. So looks to me, just by taking a look at the NASDAQ futures, doesn't look like right now it's going to be a pop and drop in the market, and instead what the markets want to do is move a bit higher. Now, if we go take a look at the daily contract here for the ES Mini real quickly before we go to break, that is traveling above that May 22nd swing point. In fact, what we have had here now, 2 tests of that May 22nd high, which is 1685.75. Yesterday, it tested that level, rejected it. Today hasn't been down there, but it looks to me like the ES Mini also wants to move a bit higher, maybe into that 1700 range or so. When we get back from break, we're going to go take a look at some of these stocks that are popping and dropping in the markets. We'll be right back, folks.
Who says you can't take it with you? TFNN says you can. With your mobile device and TFNN's live radio streams, TFNN has put it all in the palm of your hands. No special apps to download. No subscription fees for live radio or TigerTV streams. We say you can.
Now let's go over to the dollar, because the dollar is going to be the generator. It is the generator of basically higher dollar, lower market. And what the dollar has done, and this whole uptrend, folks, has just gone sideways. The way it works, folks, is this.
We say you can. The Tiger Financial News Network. Smart investors and professional traders know you can. TFNN.com. Educating investors. With the launch of TigerTV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With TigerTV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pezzamento, Andy Hecht, Victor Jones, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on TigerTV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out TigerTV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
McEwen Mining is a high-growth, mid-tier producer in the Americas with a market capitalization of $1 billion. Experienced mining executive Rob McEwen, as chairman, CEO, and president, owns 25% of the outstanding shares of McEwen Mining and has put in place an ambitious business plan with the goal of qualifying for inclusion in the S&P 500 by 2015. With $70 million in cash and liquid assets as of the end of 2012 and completely debt-free, McEwen Mining is poised for growth. Production in 2013 is forecasted to grow at 24%, reaching 130,000 gold equivalent ounces. And over the next 3 years, McEwen Mining projects that their production will increase to 290,000 gold equivalent ounces, almost a threefold increase from last year's totals. If you'd like to find out more about McEwen Mining, click on their banner on the front page of TFNN.com or check them out on the NYSE or TSX under the symbol MUX.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pezzamento's trading newsletter.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the Forex market, and more. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 full weeks. That's an $85 value. Yours free when you register right now.
Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind.
And get the edge you've been looking for.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen, live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den, absolutely free, for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Steve takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
That's a bit early. We're not really off to the bell, but that's just the warm-up. We're just testing out a new system out here, because that most certainly is not the bell here just yet. But let's go take a look at the bell that will be ringing here this morning, and that's going to be Apple. As we take a look at Apple right now, in the pre-market, trading up $19.88. Last trade fired off at $439.14. $439.14 is going to take us above the swing point from July 18th. Now, that swing point only has 7.8 million shares, so blowing past that swing point is not going to be a problem. And so long as this is not a pop and drop out here, what we're going to see Apple do is trade all the way up into the $470, $477-ish area. Now, $464.95 would be your 1-to-1 A to B equals CD. It will not stop there. So if Apple is not a pop and drop, it'll make its way up to $464.95 first. Then it'll go ahead and tag 460. We're going to call it 470, which happens to be the 200-period exponential moving average. But more likely, what would actually take place is a move up to 477 to 493. Now, at 493 is where Apple basically broke down. You had big volume, that big volume downdraft day from January 24th 52 million shares out there. So assuming that it can get above 465.73, and it's going to have to contend with that 470 area, which is the 200-period exponential moving average. And by the way, Apple has not been above that 200-period exponential moving average since December 4th. Now, if in fact Apple gets above that level, that will open some eyes out there, because then you're going to start seeing some institutional buyers, because that's one of the areas where they be paying attention. How about that? Where they pay attention to, and it gets above that, and all of a sudden you can see some moves coming in here. So we got to take this thing one day at a time. What we know by taking a look at the charts, by taking a look at the patterns out here, we can understand where the battles are going to take place. So I would say that 470 mark is where we're going to see that first battle out there. And if the bulls win, you'll see it close above that. You will then see some resistance as it gets into the gap, the breakdown area of January 23rd, and that's at about the 504 level. So assuming we don't have a little pop and a drop out here, and you've got the volume, taking out this B point will not be a problem. And there was not much of a retracement coming off of the low back here from June 28th at 388.87 out here. So watching Apple is going to be very key. All of a sudden, Apple now being back in our sights here with regard to watching what these markets are going to do out here. So that's on Apple. Now, let's go see what else we've got here that is moving, because it's just a plethora of stocks that we can choose from. I think one of the stocks that at one point in time folks used to follow around here was Polycom. So let's actually go check this stock out here, because that's getting a little hammering. It's down 10%, but there may not be much liquidity in this. I don't know. Let's take a look at it. And so moving Polycom, I don't see a lot of liquidity here, so moving this would not be very difficult. What I mean is 832,000 shares, not yesterday, but the day before. It did have a big bearish engulfing candle yesterday as it was coming up into a resistance area. So now somebody knew something inside Polycom. It's trading out at $10 even, Steven. That's going to take you right down to the swing point lows of June 26. I would imagine it's going to be able to blow through that area, and that means that it'll go all the way down to the March 1st area, right around $9 or so. So that is on Polycom. Actually, here's where it really wants to head to, which is this gap down, high volume low from July 25th, and that's in the 745 to 830 level out there. He had a hammer candle, but it's kind of the worst of all types of hammer candles. The reason being is that it was just simply from a prior gap down out there. But nonetheless, that looks like the area where Polycom would want to go ahead and head down to. Comes down there with lighter volume. Maybe you have a decent trading range on. Maybe you have a decent trading range on this. This is not a stock that you would ever want to short. It's an $11. Well, it was an $11 stock this morning. It's a $10 stock out there. Let's go check out Illumina Inc. ILMN. Let's go see what this is doing. It is trading up nicely, up 7% this morning. Last trade firing off at $79 out here. So let's go take a look at Illumina ILMN. It's right here on my screen. So it looks like that is going to try to take out its highs. Now, most recent high out here is 78.24. So it most certainly looks like it'll gap up above that area. Let's go ahead and pull this back to a longer-term time frame, see what this is doing. All-time high. So it's going to try to take out the resistance level at 79.40. So it's traded at 79 right now. We'll see if, in fact, it can hold. Big resistance out there. You can see the big bearish engulfing. This is a monthly chart. So on a monthly basis, this thing took back 6 months, almost 7 months. This was a year ago. How about that? So last July, this thing popped and then it dropped. Will this be a repeat performance on Illumina as it runs right into that resistance level? We're certainly going to find out. 877-927-6648. We'll be right back, folks.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. With the stock market flirting with all-time highs and volatility back, now is the perfect time for a 2-week free trial to Market Insights. On Monday, June 24th, Tom O'Brien closed out all 5 open positions in his daily newsletter, Market Insights, with all trades being profitable and ranging from a 2.23% gain all the way to more than an 11% gain in just one position for an incredible 32.7% profit combined between the 5 trades. Let Tom O'Brien's years of market experience work for you. If you'd like to see for yourself what kind of trading newsletter Tom O'Brien delivers to his clients each morning, then now is a perfect time to sign up for a 2-week free trial to his daily newsletter, Market Insights. In a volatile market like we currently have, the potential for fast market moves like we've seen recently is a trader's dream. So don't wait any longer. Sign up for your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today at the front page of TFNN.com. With over 3 decades of commodity trading experience, Andy Hecht has developed a system that combines both technicals and fundamentals. He calls this approach Technomental, and now you can put it to work for yourself with his brand new service, the Technomental Commodity Report. In this weekly newsletter, which comes out each Thursday morning, Andy gives you his analysis of the market price direction bias using fundamentals, and then specific trade recommendations including entry and exit points using technicals. The recommendations in the newsletter are always based on stocks and ETFs, so a futures account is not required, and Andy will often use options in the recommendations as well. Andy will tell you where to get in, where to get out, and he'll outline the risk-reward profile for all recommendations. To get your month-long free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report by Andy Hecht while locking in the low introductory rate, visit the front page of TFNN.com today. Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're up to the races. We got the Dow up 31 points. Trade out at 15,599. S&P up 5 at 1697. Composite up 26 points at 3605. Russell 2000 up 3.5 at 1055. Google up $4 and change. Apple up 1850. Trading at 437 and change right now. Microsoft up 31 ticks. Intel up 13. Cisco up 30 pennies right now. To the upside it is Apple lead the charge. Right behind them, VMware. That's interesting. Question's going to be, is this going to be vaporware here in Apple? Is it going to be able to take out that B point, or is it going to be a pop and drop? I couldn't have pictured this one any better. Apple in the lead and VMware, not that it stands for vaporware, but VMware anyways, that's up 14%. That's up $10. Lumber Liquidators up $8 this morning. That is up 9%. Illumina up $5.70 right now, 8%. Google up about 0.5%. That's up $4. Maidenform Brands up 22%. MFB That is having a nice move out there. You've got WellPoint up $1.90. Smith AO, I believe they were out with numbers up 6%. Electronic Arts, I know they were out with numbers up there, so they're up a nice 9% this morning. To the downside, leading the charge is Panera Bread, off about 6%, off $11 and change. Broadcom, that's down 11%, off $3 and change. Solar Cap, SLRC, off 14%, off $3.50. A little bit of everything in here. T. Rowe Price, TROW, off 4%. A Mattress Firm, to the mattresses, MFRM, off 3.5%. Hatteras Financial Corp, HTS, off 9% this morning. It is getting hammered. So as we got, what we have on our screen here right now is Apple. So we're certainly going to be paying attention to this during the first couple hours. We'll really be paying attention to it all day long, because if this does not take out the B point and it just sells off, that is curtains for the market. I won't say curtains for the market. In the old days, it most certainly would have been, but it'll be a pretty big signal out there, especially after Google's miss and Intuitive Surgical, and, the list goes on and on and on out there. Let's take a look at some of these stocks here, again, that continue to pop and or drop out here. Did have a request to take a look at. It looks like MSI, I believe is that Motorola? Let's pull up the stock chart anyways. MSI, we're going to take a look at this, see what it is doing. I'll look up the name here in a moment, see if that's who it is. I think it's Motorola, MSI, Motorola Solutions or something. Anyways, my system is loading. Yeah, Motorola Solutions. Boy, this thing here is, of course we know what it is doing. Motorola Solutions here. Let me update the chart for us. Make sure that I've got all of the active data. Now, Motorola Solutions had a big high-volume gap-down move on April 24th. Big high-volume low out there. Runs from 53.28 to 57.10. It's trading back into that area with a gap down. I don't know what the news was. Looks like maybe it was some revenues out here. I got to switch to a different screen. It'll be easier for me to actually read what was going on. So they must have been out with numbers. And let's see, what do they say here? 2013 revenues flat or up 1%. Maybe they did total sales $2.1 billion versus $2.15, and I don't see the net income. In any event, where is this headed to? It's going to head all the way down and test that high volume low out there at about the 53.28 level. Now, this is its second gap down out here. That means what it may have in store for itself is a third gap down. Now, it's really going to need some volume to take out that B point, that gap down from April 24th. That's 8.3 million shares. So far, though, in the first 8 minutes of trading, 216,000 shares. So I wouldn't exactly say the air is coming out of this balloon here just yet, but that says that it should at least go test the low, 53.28 down there. If it does break out that area, that'll set up a fairly large move down. In fact, the A to B equals CD on this thing would take it down to a price projection of about 49.25, maybe 46.13 out there. So that is on Motorola Solutions. Motorola. That was the first spot. I don't know. Maybe they might have been the only carrier out there with cell phones. I don't know if Motorola Solutions is a cell phone provider out there, but do you remember your first? You remember your first cell phone? For me, it was first they had those. Remember they had those units that you could carry like in a little bit of almost like a briefcase, and those things were, that was truly carrying a cell phone. And then they came out with those bricks, those big Motorola bricks out there. In any event. But that first cell phone was in like a package, almost like a lunch pail out there, I guess would be the best type of description for it. But it was pretty cool. Nowadays, can you imagine nowadays, most people don't even have landlines. Everything is done cellular. In any event, let's stop with all that. Let's just start taking a look at these charts here. Let's take a look at Ford. They really kicked butt on their earnings. They're up over their most recent high out here, which was July 15th, 17.29. It's trading at 17.43. That had volume of 26 million. It's going to have no problem taking out that volume. It's already done 12 million today. So it looks like what Ford wants to do is get all the way back up to these highs out here where it sold off at about $19 back in January of 2011. It's been a long road to hoe. Now let's put this thing back on a monthly chart out here. One heck of a stock chart. Let me get rid of the volume out here. Now I remember. Let me see here. Alt 7. I had a bunch of retail stores out in California, so I used to spend a lot of time out on the West Coast. And it was back in the 2000 and at the Lowe's back in the 2008 time frame. I was sitting at a sushi bar, talking with a guy, and we were talking about the markets, and he had gone ahead and he bought Ford, and I remember he bought it at $1. The low was $1.01, November 30th of 2008, so it was sometime during that November time period. Then it may have been obviously just a little bit more than $1, but basically, it was a stock that had gone from the highs of $40 all the way down to $1. And what was great about talking to this guy about it, the way that he was approaching it, because I hadn't really considered it at that stage. He said, for him, that this was a real easy play because it was like he could buy an unexpiring option. It was just really an option call on Ford at that stage. He wasn't backing up the truck. He wasn't putting everything in there. We talked about different stop management, different ways to take a look at risk out there, because that's the only thing that we could control. But what a great trade that was, because it traded down towards $1, and I remember years later being on a golf course with a friend of mine that owns a Ford dealership when Ford had made its way all the way back up to these highs back at $19 or so. Thinking back about that guy sitting back at the bar, thinking how happy he must have been. So what did Ford do after it made that high out there? If we take a look at it, off of the lows back in 2008, it made a retracement. That retracement just under a 0.618, maybe about a 50-ish% retracement as it came down to its lows. So right now, we'll see if it's got enough to actually take out these highs. It's going to shoot for the 1897 markets at 1740. And if it does, what that does is actually sets up an A to B equals CD up. So if it can take it out with volume, then that would set up Ford moving up to about the $27 mark. So I wish I had taken the guy's phone number. Maybe I wrote it down and lost it over all these years out here. Would be interested to know if he was still just sitting there holding on to those options. But that's how you want to take a look at some of these stocks here. So if you're taking a look at some of these equities that are low priced out there, what my recommendation is. And really, the whole thought process, because I do that in my newsletter, we've got a unexpiring option trade right now that we've taken. It's on a silver stock out there, and it was something that was trading in that dollar range out there. We just simply took our risk, which was 1 or 2%. I can't recall what we did out there. I think it was 1%, and we just simply bought the equity, and it was to stick in the drawer. It's got a high volume high out there, and it was an easy way to go ahead and take that trade. So it was really a result, quite frankly, of that conversation I had all the way back in 2008 that made me take a look at some of these equities that are low priced, and a way to play them that's a really smart, in my opinion, a really smart reward to risk trade. Anyways, Ford looks pretty good here this morning. I'm going to peek in on Apple. Apple still not too bad, but it is not exactly selling up. It's sort of selling off a bit, so we'll see what it can do. But let's continue to take a look at some of these other stocks. How about Boeing? BA is the ticker symbol, out with nice numbers here this morning. No, I was listening to somebody somewhere. I can't recall who it was. Clearly it was on a financial station. It was on the radio, and somebody was talking about the mere fact that in China, right now, what they have under construction is 50 airports. Right now, in China, going on at the moment, 50 airports under construction. Can you imagine? 50 airports. No, I know there's a number of things that aren't real over in China, but I can believe that building 50 airports is real. Is it any wonder that Boeing, is up to where it is from a price standpoint? You want to talk about, I don't know who China buys all their airplanes from. It's something that I want to go back and it just reminds me of my days of not technical trading but fundamental trading, of going back and doing the research and understand who the suppliers are, where they might be buying things. But can you imagine 50 airports being under construction? It's like flight is just starting to take shape over in China. So I can't remember where I heard that, but I do believe that whoever said that fact, it was a real thing out here. In this case here, Boeing, up at its all-time highs, doing, I believe it's not, is it? Yeah, I think that it is. Let's put this on a monthly chart out here and just make sure of that fact. Yeah, so it most certainly is up at its all-time highs. Now, Boeing here, was traveling in a sideways consolidation range here. So here's where those sideways consolidation ranges work real nicely. This was, I'm going back to 1995. And if you take a look at the lower part of its range, it was $29. The top part of its range is at 67. So what is that? 30 to, so you're looking at $38 trading range. And if you add $38 to we're going to call it to 70, it gives you $108. It's trading at $108 right now. So take a look at how that just understanding the consolidation ranges here work. In this case, trading in a consolidation range. Take a look at Boeing. It made its way all the way back there in April of 2009. Seems to me like an easy trade, because if it went below that consolidation range by very much, you'd be out of the stock, because why? Or you'd be shorting the stock. I don't know if I'd be shorting at $29, but it would be telling you that it would be heading lower. So in this case here, fulfilling that or coming in, and remember, on these consolidations, it's equal to or greater. So it's possible that it's greater. And I'm going to say in this case here that it's likely greater for Boeing. And what Boeing will be looking at is more likely an expansion. And that expansion here, coming off of the most recent, the July 7th swing point all the way down to the low in March of 2009, that expansion would actually take it up to about $130, 129.26. In fact, if we take a look at the A to B equals CD out here, probably that confirms it. So you can see it's done the 1-to-1 A to B equals CD, but no bears in place on this equity coming off of the lows here in March of 2013. It's been a straight up move. And that really sets up a move into the 130, 121, 130, 138 type area as the continued move for Boeing, assuming that it can take out the highs and stay above it this month here, which is 107.83 with 107 million shares. But it's already got the volume this month, 122 million shares. So Boeing looks pretty good, and it only makes sense when you consider all of those airports that are going to be opening in China. Maybe somebody out there will do some work and do the fundamentals and see who all the suppliers are out there, because that would be something that you could certainly want to take advantage of. Panera Bread. Let's go take a look at Panera Bread. I do like Panera Bread. They've got, I like that Greek salad that they've got in here. Well, Panera Bread here is struggling this morning. It's down with volume. So far, 659,000 shares. And Panera Bread taking out this, or testing this high volume low here from April 24th, 2.6 million shares. You know what? It's going to have no problem volume-wise. That low is 169.58. You get a close below 169.58. What does it set up? Well, if you take a look at the A to B equals CD down, and it's going to do more than a 1-to-1. By the way, because it's already done that. 165.91, 157. It's going to come all the way back to the swing points out here back in February of 2013. So Panera Bread losing a little bit of its rise in its loaf out here. Let's put this on a weekly chart. Put it on a weekly chart and see what we've got. Not too bad of a weekly looking chart out here. So maybe if the volume could be contained. Let me see. Let's put this on a monthly chart instead. So let's put this on the monthly basis for Panera Bread and take a look at where just a dead cat bounce would actually take this thing to. We're going to actually come from the lows in 2008, January of 2008, all the way up to the high that was put in on May 31st. 132.06 would actually be no damage. That would just be a dead cat bounce out here inside Panera Bread. Now, if you're holding the stock from 197 to 132, that might be a little bit of trouble out there, but it does look like this thing is going to head further south. Let's see if we can find another retracement level that might join up with this area here, and most certainly we can. So if you come off of this little hammer candle down here from the month of August of 2011, your 0.618 retracement is 134.15, so you've got a convergence of 134.15, 132.06, and that looks like to me to where Panera Bread is headed and where one might want to actually take a look at it. These breaks go fast. Right now, we've got the Dow off $2, S&P up $1.78, Composite up 21, Russell 2000 up a point, and we'll be right back.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor, Foreside Fund Services, LLC. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Recently, Basil Chapman has had some outstanding trades in his newsletter, The Opening Call. Each morning by 9 a.m., Basil uploads his newsletter to the TFNN servers so that his subscribers can access his expert trading advice. Basil gives his take on the direction of key indices and updates any active trades that his subscribers are currently in. Just recently, Basil subscribers closed out a short position in Chipotle Mexican Grill, CMG, for more than an $86 profit per share, over a 20% gain in just one position. If you'd like to try out Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, then visit the front page at TFNN.com and click Trading Newsletters. There you'll find Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, where you can request a free sample copy. Also, don't miss Basil's program, The Tiger Technicians Hour, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, on TFNN.
Tom O'Brien's weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, has helped subscribers for over 10 years navigate the high-risk world of exploring and producing gold companies. And now's a great time to sign up for a free month-long trial to see the kind of insight that Tom delivers for his subscribers on a weekly basis. Every Monday, Tom O'Brien issues a quick update on the metal market, giving you his take on the HUI, XAU, GLD, dollar, bonds, and much more. Tom follows Monday's update with a full gold report, which is delivered to subscribers Tuesday afternoon with detailed coverage of 24 separate gold or metal stocks, as well as another 10 to 15 stocks that he lets you know are on his potential watch list. Get your month-long free trial to the Gold Report today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Don't spend another year navigating the metal markets on your own. Act early in 2013 and make the most of your gold and metal market investments.
Catch the Money Masters as they teach you the art of mastering money when it comes to trading and investing. Next on TFNN.
Welcome back, folks. Right now we've got the Dow off 8, S&P up 1, Composite up 17, Russell 2000 up 26 pennies, NASDAQ 100 up 18. So let me summarize for you where it is we are in the markets here right now at 9:54 a.m. on July 24th, 1 month after the June 24th low out here. First thing we're going to start off with is taking a look at our favorite currency pair, certainly my favorite currency pair. It's the Euro-Japanese yen. Why? Because it tracks the market so well. And when there is a divergence, which means that the market is going higher and this pair is going lower, it is this pair that leads the way It doesn't necessarily have to do it to the day, but it leads the way out here. In this case right now, what we've got is a market that's slightly off, but we've got this currency pair actually pushing higher. It's breaking out of a 0.786 Gartley sell. Now, long day left in the trading session, but if in fact it does break out of here, it sets up a 100% move of a move. That'll take it up into the level of 133.80 out there, and what I would expect it would do, because it has in the past, it has created these little butterfly expansion patterns. So it'll get past that 100% move of a move, and it's actually pointed northward. So that's what's going on in the currency pair that best tracks the U.S. markets out here. Now let's go take a look at the VIX index, because we know that when that gets above the 50-day, that's when serious corrections begin. If we go take a look at the VIX here right now, all that it's doing, even though it's up 92 cents right now, so it's really not, it's up 37 cents up there, so it's trading out at 13.03. It broke a trend line. This is a trend line, small trend line, but trend line nonetheless from March 14th, that low, you would touch the lows of May 17th. It broke through that area. You break a trend line, you try to get back inside the trend, so right now all it's trying to do is move up, and in fact do that well below the 50-day exponential moving average, which is at $14.88 out here. So it has not given you a real confirmation. In fact, all it's doing is really just traveling with inside this bar. And remember, or maybe you don't remember, but on the trading session here of July 18th, it was a hammer candle, and it broke through that without any problem whatsoever. Now let's take a look at the 30-minute futures charts out here and see what they show. The 30-minute futures charts show that we've been traveling in a consolidation mode. So right now, the bottom of that consolidation has not been taken out. You're moving down towards the bottom of the oversold condition on a 30-minute basis inside the relative strength indicator. So inside the ES Mini, as an example, the bottom of the consolidation being right around the 1685 level. You're at 1687.50 here right now. So it does have more room to run to the downside. If it does break this area, it'll be a 9-point move down. That'll take you down to about 1677. But so far right now has not broken through that area, nor has the NASDAQ futures broken through its consolidation level, nor have the Dow broken through its consolidation level as well out there. So it says, we got to be careful. Then we got to take a look here at that New York Stock Exchange. New York Stock Exchange, in order for the bears to actually take control of the markets today, what you would need to see is 2,082 or more net declining issues out there. Right now what we've got is 661, so it's a good start, but that's what you would need. If you do get today more than 2,082 issues and you're long, man, make sure you've got some tight stops in place, because the Bears will have taken the ball. The Bulls will have fumbled 1 month later. So that's what we're taking a look at here in the markets. We'll continue to look at that during the next hour, and obviously during the rest of the day, because we've got a great lineup here at TFNN. If we take a look at the Qs here, interesting on the Qs, they were not able to break through that last gap up on July 11th, which had 47 million shares. Yesterday pushed down into a 24 million shares. So far in trading, 4.5 million shares, but it has not tested the low out there. So that's something else for us to be paying attention to. So, folks, if you're off to start your Wednesday, always remember you have an amazing power within yourself. And that power is so strong, it'll create a life of abundance, cure incurable diseases, build billion-dollar businesses, paint magnificent masterpieces, but most of all, folks, create fantastic, loving families. Thanks so much for being a part of the TFNN family. Look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great day. Nowhere, spelled N-O-W-H-E-R-E. At one point, we've all been there, whether it be our health, career, or our finances. Some might be there right now. So where are you when it comes to your trading and investing? Better yet, where would you like to be? The good news, I can take you from nowhere to now here right now. Same letters, N-O-W-H-E-R-E, just a totally different emphasis and focus. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes with TFNN, and on July 25th at 6:30 p.m., I'm going to share with you a trading strategy that I began on May 10th when the S&P was at 1627 and closed at the same price 8 weeks later. That's right, the S&P went nowhere versus a trading strategy that produced 100% hypothetical return in that same period of time, and it's now here for you. Subscribers to my daily newsletter service, Mastering Probability, have free access to this exciting live workshop. The trend is your friend. All the details are on the homepage of TFNN.com. Decisions shape your destiny, and your trading destiny is now here for you.